Welcome back to Mustard Soul, where we explore deep stories of faith, truth, and how they shape our world. Today, we're diving into the fascinating origin of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, a movement that started small but grew into a global denomination with millions of followers. Let's get into it. The story begins in the early 1800s in a time of great religious excitement in the United States. People were reading the Bible with fresh eyes, and there was a growing hunger to understand prophecy, especially the second coming of Jesus. One of the key figures at the heart of this movement was William Miller, a Baptist preacher and former Army captain. After a personal journey through the Bible, Miller became convinced that the return of Jesus Christ was very near. He even believed it would happen around the year 1843 or 1844. This sparked what is now known as the Millerite movement. Thousands of people across the United States were moved by Miller's preaching. He wasn't setting a date out of fear. He genuinely believed Christ's coming would be the beginning of a new and better world. His message was simple: Jesus is coming soon. Get ready. As the predicted time drew closer, excitement turned to urgency. People left their jobs, sold their belongings, and waited in hopeful expectation. But then came the great disappointment, October 22, 1844. Jesus did not return as expected. Many were heartbroken. Some gave up completely. Others went back to their old churches. But a small group of believers refused to give up. They thought, maybe we misunderstood something. This small group began to study the Bible again, especially the book of Daniel, which talks about prophecy and the end times. They started to believe that something important did happen in 1844, but it wasn't Jesus coming to earth. Instead, they believed he began a new phase of his work in heaven, something they called the investigative judgment. Around this time, a young woman named Ellen G. White began to have visions. She was just a teenager, but her messages were filled with spiritual insight, encouragement, and guidance. Many in the group believed her visions were from God. Over time, she would become one of the most influential voices in the early Adventist movement. These believers also noticed something else in their studies: the Sabbath. They saw that the Bible clearly described the seventh day, Saturday, as the day of rest and worship. Most Christians worshipped on Sunday, but these believers chose to return to the Bible's original teaching. That's how the name Seventh-day Adventist came to be, seventh day for the Sabbath. An Adventist because of their hope in the second coming, or advent, of Jesus. The group remained small for a while, but they were committed. They preached, taught, published, and built schools and hospitals. They believed in health, education, and service to others. Their faith wasn't just about what happened in church, it was about how they lived every day. In 1863, the Seventh-day Adventist Church was officially organized in the United States. It had about 3,500 members at the time. From there, it began to grow, slowly at first, and then rapidly. Missionaries were sent to other countries. New believers joined from all over the world. Today, the church has a presence in nearly every country, with more than 21 million members worldwide. They run schools, hospitals, publishing houses, and humanitarian services. And they still hold to those early beliefs: the Sabbath, the second coming, healthful living, and a strong focus on education. But at its heart, the story of the Seventh-day Adventist Church isn't about dates, doctrines, or disappointments. It's about people searching for truth. People who faced rejection, loss, and confusion, but kept going. People who wanted to follow Jesus as closely as they could, even when it meant standing out from the crowd. It's a story of bold faith, of digging deep into Scripture, and of daring to believe that God was leading, even through mistakes and misunderstandings. It reminds us that sometimes, disappointment can become the doorway to deeper understanding, and maybe that's what makes this story so powerful. It's not perfect. It's not smooth. But it's real. A group of ordinary people, drawn together by hope, shaped by Scripture, and led by a vision much bigger than themselves. Thanks for spending this time with me on Mustard Soul. If you found this story interesting or inspiring, hit that like button, subscribe for more faith-based content, and share this video with someone who's curious about church history. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear what stood out to you the most. Until next time, stay grounded, stay curious, and remember, even a small seed of faith can grow into something extraordinary.